Welcome to New Strength. I'm Christina Cook-Lee. New Strength is a daily devotional offering hope and encouragement for people who are trying to get and stay free from depression and/or dependency. If you're viewing directly on YouTube, you can read along with me as I speak by clicking the description area below the screen. You'll see that all the words are there for you. And if you're on my blog at newstrength.wordpress.com, of course the words are there for you as well. Thanks for joining me. Today's topic is fear. The focus is becoming free from generational curses by choosing obedience to God's ways. The scripture is Psalm 46, verses 1 through 2, from the New King James Version of the Bible. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. In the time of Moses there was a family of people by the name of Korah. During the long and tedious period of wandering in the wilderness on the journey to the Promised Land, this family got tired of submitting to Moses. Thinking they could do a better job of leading God's people than Moses was doing, they decided to rebel. God was so unhappy with the Korah family's behavior that he caused the earth to open and swallow them. Apparently some of the family survived because generations later we see that descendants of Korah became worship leaders in Israel. The past history of the Korah family was a constant reminder of why they should live in obedience to God and honor His choice of leadership. They had learned valuable lessons from the mistakes of their family and made the decision not to continue in the disobedient ways of their ancestors. They came to understand that obedience to God meant being entitled to having Him as their refuge and strength. It also gave them the privilege of experiencing the presence of God in worship and His help in times of trouble. The descendants of Korah who were faithful to God became examples of God's willingness to show mercy and restoration. Because they chose to turn from the wrong ways of the past and live in accordance with God's right ways, the later generation of the Korah family was elevated to a position of honor. They chose to make the declaration that no matter what happened, they would continue to choose God and not fear for their future. Their words were recorded in the Bible and are remembered to this day. In fact, they were the very ones who authored Psalm 46, 1 and 2, which was and is a song. When you make the choice to rebel and decide to take another path, you put yourself at risk. You can no longer claim the promise of protection and strength God desires to give you. As a result, you now have to live in your own power, which in the history of the human race has never been enough. Every civilization that has turned their hearts against the one true God has eventually failed. The pattern of depression and addiction is sometimes passed down through generations. It's a known fact that many who suffer from depression and addiction are also tormented by fear. Making a conscious choice to live in faithful obedience and not live in fear is a critical factor in the process of recovery. Verbalizing that decision as an act of faith breaks the power of rebellion and fear as a stronghold. To face a future filled with blessing and the absence of fear, make a decision today to declare God alone as your refuge and strength, so that in the time of trouble and testing, you will not have to be afraid. Declaration: I will find new strength in knowing I don't have to be afraid because God is my refuge and strength. Thanks for taking the time to listen, and be sure to like this segment. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the New Strength Devotional channel on YouTube and on WordPress. And then a link will come to you every day in your email with a segment like this. If you're already a subscriber, I'll look forward to meeting with you again tomorrow. My prayer is that you will find new strength day by day and endless blessings. I'm Christina Cook-Lee.